Hi, lovely booktubers. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I'm Debs. I am in the book shack. It is Sunday, and therefore it's time to do my weekly reading wrap up. Now, life sort of got in the way this week. I haven't read as much as I normally would, but I have read some good things. So, start with. At the beginning of September, I said I was only going to dip my toe into some book events because I had a load of things to catch up with. One of those being reducing the number of books that are unread in the list of books I bought this year. So for the Read What You Own challenge that started on November the 6th last year and was the brainchild, or is the brainchild, of Ollie at Reading This, Criminally. I decided to read 100 books before I bought any more. And it all went very well, went swimmingly until Christmas. But then in the new year, I had serious itches to buy new books. And I finally finished the challenge in the middle of February and decided for the first time I was going to list the physical, note physical, not ebooks, the physical books that I had bought over the year. And once I had read those books, I was going to mark them off. And the difference in number between the books that I have bought since the end of the Read What You Own challenge and those that I have read from that list would be the basis for my Read Your Own challenge this year. I wasn't doing very well. I was on 117 books. Now, since the beginning of September, I have read quite a few. I was quite pleased. Till this week, when I bought another 12 books. I couldn't help myself, it was accidental. So, since February the 18th, which I believe was the date, I have purchased 184 physical books. I have read 64 physical books, which means the number I am going to have to read, unless I do something about it seriously, is 120 books, which is more than last year. I was hoping it was going to make me control myself and it was going to be less than last year. Hey ho, how wrong can you be? Anyway, on to the books I've read this week. And some of them have been ones that I've bought in the last week. Let's start with the ebooks. There's a couple. Firstly, there's this one, Street Art. And there's this one, Urban Art Legends. These are both by Ket, K-E-T, and they are both about street art or graffiti, whatever you want to call it. The first is examples of street art where you can find it, the crews who have produced such works. The second one, the Urban Art Legends, is about specific people, individuals who have made street art more mainstream. Many of them are featured now in fine art galleries. Their work goes for thousands and thousands and thousands. Banksy's included in there. Most of the artists are US based, but there are others who are based in the Netherlands or Germany or the UK. Banksy's based in Bristol, or was. He came out of Bristol. I think it was last year or the year before, Banksy appeared in Nottingham, and people flocked to go and see it. And then the owner of the house had it cut out of the wall and sold it to the highest bidder, which is a shame. But never mind. I read these for a new event this month called Framed in September, which I've been enjoying very much. And for this week, I've got some Taschen books. I do like a nice Taschen book. I've got a pop art one, Liechtenstein, Andy Warhol, Frida Kahlo, and I've got a couple of street photography books, which is another big passion of mine. Now, if you'll excuse me for just a second, I'm just going to grab the physical books. Here they be. So, physical books. Oh no, there's another one as well. There's another ebook I read, and it's one of the books that's banned by the state of Utah. Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, which is a book of poetry, and it deals with themes of it does deal with themes of sexual assault, violence, love, and being. I wouldn't ban it. I'd leave parents to do it themselves. I know I promised you a banned books video last week and failed, because the more I researched the books, the more into it I got. So I have actually just done a video, as in 20 minutes ago, and that will be published tomorrow. But Rupi Kaur was one of the books that I read this week. Another one is this, Blankets by Craig Thompson, another one of the Utah banned books. This is almost it's semi-autobiographical. It's a coming of age book. It's about a lad from a religious family. He meets a girl on church summer camp, and she becomes his first love. It's a book about religion and rejecting it. It's a book about art. It's a book about love. It's a book about loss of love. It's beautiful. I can see no reason why it's banned. There's some examples of the illustrations. I really enjoyed this book. Another one of the books I bought this week is this. Oh, there you go. Rumblefish by SE Hinton. I really like The Outsiders. Really like The Outsiders. I'd not read Rumblefish before. It's a short book. Works for Shorty September. It's a book about friendship. It's a book about growing up on the wrong side of the tracks, like The Outsider is. This deals with a young lad who idol worships his older brother. His mother has left. His father is a drunk. He knows nothing but fighting. He has a friend who tries to stop him fighting. He gets injured several times. And at the beginning and at the end of this book, it's about how him and his friend meet up but that's not the ending of the book. I'm not ruining the ending for you here. It jumps in timeline backwards and forwards between the present and the past when they were growing up as teenagers. Book 6 of 7. I'm determined to finish these. I was going to try and finish them during June on the Range, but didn't get around to it. Little Town on the Prairie is the last but one. It's about building up a township and the struggles that ensues. It's about the perils of being out west, the harsh winters and the hot summers. It's about schooling. It's about how Mary copes with her blindness. It's a social history. Now, one of the reasons I read this book now is because The Little House on the Prairie has been challenged in the US for its depiction of Native Americans, and also of Black people. The challenge wasn't upheld, but hear the helicopter? This microphone I've got is meant to reduce outside noise. I'll see how successful it's been now. You don't get more wholesome than the Ingalls, do you? Why would you challenge that book? But it is a social history. As much as it's not a history book, there are elements of everyday life there that you can take out and use as historical evidence. Like, for example, crows attacking the crops, and Pa Ingalls goes out and shoots them. Oh no, it's blackbirds. You know the nursery rhyme, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie? Well, that's what they did. They shot the blackbirds, they ate the blackbirds. I don't think people eat blackbirds anymore. Anyway, another of the books I bought this week, just because I wanted to. There's a marvellous graphic novel and manga store in town in the city centre in Nottingham. And the guy in there who runs it is really helpful and really knowledgeable, and doesn't look at me as if I'm insane when, some greying grandmother wanders in and wants to talk graphic novels with him. He's very lovely. This book is called Amina. It is by Barbara Yelin. This book is born from letters that Yelin found of her grandmother, great-grandmother. It starts in the mid-1930s when Amina, who is a German girl from Stuttgart, does an exchange with an English girl, and she goes to live with the English girl's family in London and enrolls on a secretarial course where she can learn English so she is able to translate and transcribe. She meets a black guy from Barbados who is studying at Oxford. In this book, he's called Howard Green. I think the names have been changed, but he's one of the first black students at Oxford. And they are both trying to work towards an independent existence where they can earn money for themselves. Their relationship, however, comes to an abrupt end because of Hitler. And so Amina is recalled home and the English girl returns to her English family. She tries to contact Howard, but her letter is returned as unknown at this address. And so she betrays her ideals of living and working in England and having a relationship with Howard, and ends up marrying an SS officer. This is it's a book in 3 parts, really. The first is about her journey to London and her relationship with Howard and how that grows, and her seeing the country and completing her exams and things like that. The second part is her life in Germany once she returns, what happens during the war and what happens then after the war. And the third part brings her life more up to modern times. I think the artwork in this is beautiful. I love the subtlety of the colours. I just think it's an incredible book. Really enjoyed reading this. I've only really got into graphic novels this year. I started by reading Mouse, which was a suggestion from Vin at Revenant Reads here on BookTube. I read Persepolis by Marion Satrapi. That was a suggestion by Gareth at Book Songs and Other Magic. Blankets I have read for the very fact that it was banned in the state of Utah. Irmina is the first one that I've picked from the shelves on advice from the bookshop owner. I really like these memoir biographical type graphic novels because I think the artwork adds just such a deep dimension to it. They would have been good. They would have been good in novel form. They're better in graphic novel form. So I've now got 120 books on my book list that I've got to bring. I really want to bring it down to about 75 by the time this challenge starts, which gives me about 7 weeks, 8 weeks, I suppose. I'll see how I go. A lot of them are quite short. One of the shortest ones, most irritatingly, I've lost. Can't find the damn thing anywhere. Not to worry. Hey, what have you been reading this week? I hope you've had a really good week. And thank you for stopping by. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to. That's always helpful. Leave a comment down below. And thank you. It's always good to see you. Hopefully, I shall speak to you soon. That's it from me. Bye for now.